Welcome to Podcasting for Solopreneurs and FAQ Friday, where I answer a podcasting question in 5 minutes or less. Before I get into today's question, I have 2 quick announcements. First thing is I just want to make sure that everyone knows if you send me a question through Buzzsprout's texting feature that I cannot respond to you directly. So if you submit a question, I will absolutely answer it here on the podcast, but you won't receive a reply to your text. So it's not personal. I just literally don't have the technical capability to do that. And then the second thing is that I am running out of questions. I have had to look for questions in various places. So if you're out there, you're listening, and you have a podcasting question, anything from starting to growing to monetizing, anything at all related to podcasting, I would love for you to use that feature in the description. Click on that send me your question link and send me that question, and I will answer it on one of these upcoming FAQ Friday episodes. So those announcements out of the way, I am going to pull a question from a YouTube video. I saw a question that said, do I need to register my podcast name anywhere before I begin my podcast? And I've gotten variations of this question in the past, and so I thought it was a good one to answer. So the short answer is no, you do not need to register your podcast name anywhere before you begin your podcast. So the process of starting your podcast and publishing your very first piece of content, which is usually your podcast's trailer, that serves to kind of quote unquote claim your podcast's name. So the sooner you start your podcast, the sooner that happens. So if you have a name in mind that you really want, I would suggest starting your podcast sooner rather than later to make sure that you are the one who gets that name. Now, there are a lot of other things that go into choosing a podcast name, but the one thing that I'll mention here just in this episode is that you need to make sure that no one else has previously registered the name of that podcast before you decide to use it. So that means making sure to check your trademark databases in your home country and the US, if you are located outside the US, before you start your podcast. And that's just to make sure that no one else already holds a trademark for that name, because that's going to cause a lot of legal headaches down the road if that is the case. You may want to consult a trademark attorney just to make sure that you are going through the process correctly. But some folks prefer to DIY it, and that's totally your call. 2 podcasts can technically have the same name as long as one of them is not officially trademarked. While that's technically possible, that's not very ethical though, so I recommend not choosing a name that has already been taken. You can scroll back to episode 182 for more tips about how to pick the perfect name for your podcast. And just a reminder, if you have a podcasting question, click the Send Me Your Question link in the episode description, and I'll answer it in an upcoming episode. Until next time, happy podcasting!